Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Sports Department Podcast, the wrestling recap version, where myself, Stephen Clark, Justin Valentovic, and Jesse Norman are all here to break down this week in wrestling. In ring, it was actually a pretty decent week in wrestling for a change, but outside the ring, it's a little bit of sad news, but we'll get to all that stuff very, very shortly. But before we do, fellas, how you doing today?
I'm good. You didn't mention about who won the pay-per-view because we didn't do a review of Hell in a
Let me
Cell.
get through the intro first.
Well, you did your little
wins
spiel.
one pay-per-view, doesn't know how to act.
It's been championship week for me, basically.
Oh my god!
One more than you've won, so eat it.
That's not true. That's not
You've tied.
true.
No, you've tied.
Yeah.
Me and you've
That's
tied, but you've
true.
never won one by yourself.
I've still have a 5 in the column.
I
You
have
have
something you don't
a
have.
3 in the column.
Uh-huh.
Last time I checked, 5 is greater
Hell in
than
a Cell
3.
week, basically. How Discovery did Shark Week, it's Hell in a Cell week, basically, has been with the WWE.
Yeah, it has been. Yeah, Jesse, how you doing down there or up there in Colorado?
Hey, I'm chilling, It's been fun
Amongst the land of misfit toys.
on vacation.
Look at you. Good. Having a good time. But before we get into the week, Justin prefaced it in like two seconds ago. He won the pay-per-view. We didn't do a breakdown of Hell in a Cell because things came up and whatnot.
Because Justin won.
Yeah,
Justin.
I sent that to Clark because when Clark's like, "Yeah, maybe we'll just bounce off this one." Like, "Oh yeah, fine." I sent the rock smelling like bitch thing because it's like, "Oh, Justin wins one thing," and nah, let's not do it this week.
But
Nah,
no, Justin solely won the pay-per-view. The leaderboard stands as Jesse with
I'm still in
9.
last place, so
Yeah, I know. I'm saying that
Hey,
right
but
now.
you're catching up.
Jesse has 9 pay-per-view wins. I have 5. Justin has 3.
me winning
So-
is like being the valedictorian of summer school.
There you go. At least you can admit. To your
I'm
previous
surprised it
failure.
happened this early.
Yeah,
6 months
June.
in.
Yeah, I know.
6 months in.
I was honestly expecting maybe, not until October.
It's going to be a race for second place. There's a race. You're only 2 back on me. You're only 2 back,
Which is
so
amazing.
Look at that. There might be a race for second. I don't know. I don't know if either of us are going to be catching Jesse.
Jesse literally needs to not do it for. Wait, can we? Is there? We got to
between takeovers and pay-per-views.
Okay, we can do it.
I'll take a number 1 seed bye week.
by month.
Man. But let's get into the actual podcast now, and we got to start outside the ring. And again, just like a couple months ago, not even a couple months, a couple of weeks ago at this point, there were more firings and more releases. And this one surrounded mainly around NXT. Everyone here was either a part of 205 Live or NXT. So some of the big ones that we're going to touch on, we're not going to really, get into every single name here because a lot of them were very low card to jobber to never really on TV. But Breezango, that's a shock to me in a way. They're very, very popular. They were popular when they had their little skits on Smackdown. Granted, they weren't used correctly.
Whoa. You can't call them little skits. Call them the fashion files. God damn it.
Okay.
They
okay.
were the best thing on SmackDown that year.
I saw a thing on Instagram where it's like, "This isn't what we meant when we said defund the police."
That's funny.
Oh man, the fashion files were great though. They were so good. They were so good that I didn't even care about Tyler Breeze or Fandango.
They were
that
good.
got me into them, and then I was like, they need to take the belts. They absolutely need to take the belts, and then they didn't.
They embraced the comedy role of it and just the stupidity of it as a whole. And like you said, Jesse, at some points it was the best thing on SmackDown that was actually worth watching and going back on like the clips on YouTube or Twitter to actually see what their little segment actually was.
Yeah, no, for sure. They got themselves over more than, someone in the company writing to put them over. They were entertaining, whether they were with, like the Bludgeon Brothers, they would do funny stuff with, or whatever they were doing at the time. It was very, very funny. Then they got the call down to NXT, which honestly was great for them because they felt like they were stars again, and they wound up winning the NXT tag team titles, which is cool. And then, they've kind of been like on and off television and like feuds with Santos Escobar, I think, and Legado del Fantasma. And then, randomly, I'm shocked to say that they were fired.
I'm surprised they made it this far, honestly, as well. No, because they weren't really used for anything major.
I'm surprised Fandango made it this far. I'll say that because I think Breeze is a
all the
lot more
injuries he
talented at ring.
With all the injuries he had, I'm surprised they didn't cut him sooner because normally you get injured, like 2 major injuries if you're not like Seth Rollins or a major person. Your days are basically
You
numbered at
lose
that
the
point.
trust. Yeah, you lose the trust.
Look at
of Vince.
Joe. Joe got injured so much that they made him pretty much retire.
Balor too. I mean, he wasn't
yeah.
being used ever since he got injured as well.
Yeah.
It's shocking. It's very shocking. Like I said, especially Breeze. I feel like Breeze has still so much to offer.
It'll be great if they stay together as a tag team, like the Fashion Police or someone, like something like that, and they kind of stick to the same gimmick quasi and end up in like a TNA.
I think
they'd work in AEW. I really do.
I think Dango winds up going to TNA. I think Breeze winds up going to AEW.
Breeze would be a good get for AEW.
Yeah, I think he'd be really, really good. And just Dango just seems like a.
Did you see him at Mania versus Jericho? Wasn't the one at MetLife?
Yeah, he beat Jericho 1-on-1 in his debut match as Fandango. Yeah. So he always has that. Maybe if he goes to AEW, you can bring up that storyline too and get a match going there. So that's, they like bringing up old storylines from the past, so that could work too.
They're also not afraid to go against like what people actually know about WWE history, at least in AEW.
No, definitely not. No, it's sad. That stinks. And another shocker I'd put on the list too, didn't get the best start on the main roster with Sanity, but was cool in NXT. But again, another superstar who did eventually get called back down to NXT and then found a little bit of, a little comedy act with Drake Maverick. And, it was fun. It was entertaining, but very talented wrestlers, Killian Dane. So that stinks too.
The last of the men from Sanity, basically.
Yeah, 2 of them gone within a month or so. And then
Killian Dane was also like in a main event of a takeover, like a couple months ago?
Yeah, wasn't he filler for something? He
was in your house. He was it was him, Pete Dunne, and somebody else to then become the number 1 contender for like Cole. Also, I guess that was kind of a while ago because Cole was still the champ at that
about
point.
A year ago. Yeah. But no, he's super talented, which is another one that stinks to go. But I think, again, that's a great get if you're AEW. And if you're looking for a big, agile guy, just imagine him with, like, Brian Cage right now. Him versus Brian Cage would be a phenomenal match.
And versus Sting.
Anyone. Sure. Why not?
I mean, Killian Dane versus Sting.
That's what you want? You want Killian Dane versus Sting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Killian Dane will probably, like, kill him.
Probably. Won't be the first time Sting almost dies. But no, it stinks. And I'm just going to go through some of the names, and I'll go through every single name. And if you guys want to bring up anything about them or where you think they would fit best, just tell me. But August Gray, Arya Daivari, Tony Nese, the Bollywood
Fun fact
boys.
about Daivari, when he first debuted, I thought it was old Daivari again.
Yes.
Me
too.
Yeah. Me too. That's it. That's all I
know storyline they're related. Are they related in real life?
Yeah, they're related in real life. Yeah, he's like his son or nephew or something.
Nephew, I think. Yeah.
Nephew, is most likely it.
So Tony Nese, the Bollywood boys, Marina Shafir, Arturo Ruas, Kurt Stallion, and the tag team Everrise. Any closing thoughts on that?
Who is Marina Shafir?
She was
wife of Roderick Strong.
Yeah, she was the one of the MMA 4 horsewomen that they never did anything
not
with.
The lanky blonde one, the other one.
Yes, there was an article, and it was on like Wrestle Votes or something. I don't know how sourced it was.
Oh, also, other Daivari is this one's brother.
Brother.
Okay. Wow.
Interesting. But they had said that one of the quotes was that it doesn't matter. These cuts don't care who you're in a relationship with, or you're not going to be able to get.
You're good.
I don't
locked your screen.
I locked it. Okay. But no, I think that's clear. Triple H couldn't protect Breeze and Fandango as much as I think he wanted to. Roddy couldn't save Marina Shafir. They're very much cutting these costs, and they don't care.
Also with Marina is like Rousey's not coming back anytime soon. And really,
I don't think
there's really no point for her and Duke to even stick around if she's not coming back, because it's clear that they're not going to the MMA background with Baszler anytime soon. So there's really no point for them, considering that's kind of why they were brought in for.
Opportunity.
No, I agree. That's why they were brought in
for a whole year. They've had
them for like 4.
They had Ronda for a full-time 1-year run. Full year. Nothing. She did house shows. She did everything.
Yeah,
and they never did the 4 horsewomen versus the 4 horsewomen.
That could have been like a Survivor Series match.
Yes,
would have
been better than the Survivor Series.
That's what Survivor Series matches.
No, they had to have SmackDown get swept one time.
Well, that's what we can talk about Survivor Series, but it's always better when it's actual feuds rather than just show versus show. No one cares about show versus
How
show.
dare you? How dare you?
Yeah, no.
Remember when we had Survivor Series and bragging rights were the exact same thing? And now
stupid.
Survivor
They
Series
just
is
really
the-
liked the idea of bragging rights. They just couldn't sell
Well,
anything
that's
for
the new.
it, so
That's
they just
basically
moved
what
it.
Survivor Series is just a reskin bragging rights.
Yeah,
I would love. Why don't they do it as like they put Survivor Series near the time of the shakeup?
If you lose,
And
you
then,
get fired.
Whoever comes out on top like gets the first draft pick, or whoever comes out on top gets like something, or like
And then
even
if you
do
lose,
it
you
as
get
like
fired.
there's 8 matches.
Or how about Survivor Series is the fucking draft version, like the old one where a show
you win
won,
a
they got
match,
a draft.
you get a
Yeah,
player. Yeah, something like something like that.
make it mean something and not just bragging.
Instead of just doing the shakeup like online and like nobody knows where anybody is.
no
and then
one
they're
knows.
like, also the shakeup goes on for 4 weeks. And it's like, what? What does that mean?
Stupid.
Lone
Apparently, it's
shakeup.
rumored to come back too.
Oh, God.
Oh, I bet it is. I bet it is.
So maybe we'll pound out another, mock draft like we did last time, little fantasy draft.
Oh, when I destroyed Justin.
Yeah, so Justin gets kicked out for
man.
that one, and I'm jumping in and
I'll
taking his
GM
spot.
that one.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I'll commish that one.
Exactly. But no, that's here nor there right now. But sucks to see all those wrestlers go. But one who doesn't suck to see go is this writer who got fired. And she was on a podcast and she was just hired within a couple months or so. And she was talking about how she was hired and she's never watched a glimpse of wrestling in her life.
Kind of like me doing this podcast.
Pretty much. But then she went on the interview and she was like, I don't know who the WWE she's like, I don't know who the WWE champion was. It's that big black guy, Bobby Ashley. She called him on the podcast. And that interview, that podcast went up during the week.
And I can't find a job anywhere.
Yeah, same. And then it got released the other day that she was fired. So maybe she lied on her thing or whatever, or what on her.
Side note, real quick on the previous draft that I just remembered. Justin, with the previous picked Carmella, and I then picked Daniel Bryan.
I also had the last NXT pick, and I took Peyton Royce over Io Shirai.
Oh,
yeah, you did.
Oh, you did. You didn't use your NXT pick. That's right. Jesus. But
that was good.
The writer's fired, which she shouldn't. Best of luck to her.
Do we know if she was from Raw? Because if she was from Raw, that explains a lot about that.
Oh yeah, she was.
Yeah. Oh, that explains a lot then.
She was a writer on Raw. Yeah, she didn't know the name of the WWE champion. She said big black guy Bobby Ashley.
Good. That explains a lot about that show's current state.
Exactly. But let's get into Raw this week. And actually, it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad of a show for Raw's standard. I was very, very shocked how good it was. And that's because we're in Money in the Bank season and qualifying matches are always fun because, Money in the Bank is one of the more fun pay-per-views of the year because it's very unpredictable and it could lead to a new opportunity and a change on the roster.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Slow your roll there.
It's good. I love Money in the Bank. It's one of my favorites. It's probably like my top 4, I would say, pay-per-views, maybe top 3 even.
Probably my third.
It'd be right there.
Probably, it's 3 for me.
So I want to go through the winners of who qualified for the match so far. And, if we can get any little predictions or, if we think any of these guys are going to win or they're just filler for the match, let's talk about it and discuss. We got from Raw.
First one's filler.
Yeah, it is. The first, I think Raw is filler in general. And that's so far. There's 8 men in the match. It's going to be so far. Ricochet won, John Morrison, and Riddle. What are we thinking?
Riddle's the only one who has a possibility at
I
any
agree.
point.
I would love for it to be Riddle.
Unless Morrison wins and they kind of do how the reverse of when Miz had the case.
That'd be funny.
Maybe Miz
that'd
tries.
Be funny, but I don't know if they would.
Yeah, but if they had the case and Miz maybe trying to swindle out, like they could do a lot of good comedy stuff if Morrison had the case.
Yeah.
That's true.
But Riddle winning it would be hilarious because he would probably pawn it off for weed or something. Or a scooter.
He just opens it up and Orton just starts
it smokes when it opens up.
Yeah.
No, I think that'd be a great. I think Orton will get into the match next week. He'll win that triple threat.
Yeah.
And then I think if Riddle wins, that's gonna be the start of the breakup of RK Bro.
That'd be fine. That'd be great. It's funny as it is, but no, if this propels Riddle to that next level, I'm all for it. And I know we're going out of order here, but it just pays to get this out of the way too. And on SmackDown, Big E also qualified for the same match.
He's right now my front runner.
I think he's my front runner too right now.
Yeah, he probably should be because they've been building him and building him and building him.
Yeah.
It's gotta pay off somewhere.
Yeah, it does. And I do think that's the favorite right now. There's still more half the field left to enter. So 3 more from SmackDown, 1 more from Raw. So we'll get to that as the time goes along. But it's fun. It's fun. It's a fun time. And let the women's now. They have more that qualified, I think, than the men because they had 2 tag team matches, which these are stupid.
That's stupid to do a tag team qualifying match because eventually
guys, they're friends. The women are friends. They're friends.
They're all friends. They either love each other or hate each other. That's how Vince views the women. But the people who qualified on Raw were Asuka, Naomi, Superhero Nikki Cross, and Alexa Bliss. And on SmackDown was Liv Morgan. So what are we thinking about that?
Where did this Nikki
I really
Cross gimmick
hope
come
Liv
from?
Morgan.
Yeah, she
from
really
being
needs
off TV.
Yeah, I was shocked. Liv Morgan won because she beat Carmella too, who they seem to love usually.
Well, she's blonde.
So is Liv.
Yeah, but
but it's more of a Targaryen blonde, like a silver blonde. From Game of Thrones? It's from you guys haven't watched Game of Thrones.
No,
Sorry,
I like
never mind.
actual good shows.
Game of Thrones was a phenomenal show up until season 8.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
The ending is
Can't
really
quite stick the
bad.
landing. No, I know it is. It's horrible.
But that show is really good. I advise anybody to watch up to season 7, then stop.
Are you gonna watch the prequel show?
Yeah, I'll watch it. I'll give it a chance.
Yeah. Do you think? Side note: depending on how Dexter's reboot does, I wonder if they'll be kind of peer pressured into do a reboot season
of Game of Thrones. I would love if they did.
Well,
George absolutely should be.
George R. R. Martin said he hates that the show ended before the book, so that was
maybe don't take 10 years to write a book, man. Just an idea. All right, back to the point. Liv Morgan should win.
She should.
Money in the Bank.
But Justin brought up a point. When was Nikki Cross a superhero? And that just happened randomly backstage, where she put on a
Is
mask.
she gonna be back with Alexa?
I think so.
Thing now, because that already ran its course, and I didn't really love it when that happened.
She tagged with her, but I don't think they're staying together.
Okay, good.
And everyone's crapping on her with this superhero gimmick. It's very Hurricane-esque, but
that's why at first I was like, wait, I thought I was like, is Molly Holly back or something? Is a one-off?
Apparently, it was 100% her idea, is what I'm hearing online now too. But she wanted to be.
Hey, if they
wanted to be on TV.
If they gave her the green light to at least try it, they see enough to give it an opportunity to see what happens.
They also don't care what's on TV on Raw.
That is.
They have to fill 3 hours.
But I'm just thinking of the whole character arc of Nikki Cross and how she started in NXT as
it's like a nutcase,
literally a nutcase insanity. And you look at her on Raw
getting coffee with Alexa Bliss to now a superhero.
To a superhero. God, that's bad. I don't like.
That's good writing right there. Long-term booking.
Long-term booking of how the evil can become good.
She's getting fired soon.
Yeah, but I don't know who's winning this match. I think Alexa might be my pick at this point.
Yeah, probably.
Just because they love Alexa. That's my only reasoning I got. The rest are all just kind of there. I feel like.
Let's hope Charlotte somehow doesn't get in. Even no, because she's in. Then again,
she's fighting.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
She could get in Money in the Bank and have another opportunity at a later date that they can go to and be legitimate with instead of her just giving it to her.
Yeah, I can see honestly too, someone getting hurt before the match and Becky taking a spot and winning it.
That'd be cool.
I can see that happening, and then Becky just pulling a Cena and say, "I want mine at SummerSlam against Rhea," and doing that. I can see that happening. But
perhaps
Money in the Bank. Let's get into the world title match at Money in the Bank right now, and it's going to be Kofi Kingston and Bobby Lashley, which is a nice little break feud for Lashley. I don't really see anything coming out of this too much, except for that there was a Hell in a Cell match on Monday Night Raw. Yeah, another one.
Just because Fox had one, so probably USA wanted one too.
Exactly. It's stupid. It was okay. And Lashley defeated and just brutalized Xavier Woods in it. It's just leading up to Kofi and Lashley at Money in the Bank. I don't see anything coming out of this long term at all. Lashley's on the
Maybe
roll.
Big E wins the
They
briefcase
needed
and then goes over to fight Bobby Lashley, and then New Day gets back together.
no. They just need to fill time till SummerSlam.
Yep.
And honestly, at this point on Raw, Kofi is the most legit main eventer that's not going to be in Money in the Bank and is not named Drew McIntyre
Because they don't have any other ones.
because they don't have any other ones. AJ's got Omos in the tag team. RK Bro is a thing. Plus Riddles and the Money in the Bank. And who else do they have?
Really
on
boxed
Raw?
themselves into a corner over there in Raw.
Yeah, they have.
It just sucks.
Well, that's kind of what happens when you have Drew reign for an entire year and he destroys everybody. There's nobody really left besides Drew.
And then have Lashley do the whole thing all over again of just destroying everybody now for the
But
last
so far,
couple
it's
months.
just Drew. It's
Yeah.
just Drew.
Just Drew. Oh, you're right. It feels like he's been like doing it for like a year or two now, Lashley.
Yeah.
It really does. But it'll be interesting, Lashley and Kofi. It's not going to main event because on SmackDown, we're jumping around tonight. I don't care.
It's fine.
We're
Who
jumping
cares?
around.
Screw it.
We're jumping around. We'll get to NXT last. On SmackDown, got a nice little return. Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman were in the ring talking about how they put down everybody. They put down Kevin Owens. They put down Daniel Bryan. They put down Edge. They put down whoever they put in front of him. His cousins, whatever. Cesaro and more. And then all of a sudden, Edge comes back. And it looks like we're going to get our match at Money in the Bank. We're getting the match.
It's too early for it. I would hold it off to SummerSlam.
They have
Really?
they have the SummerSlam thing planned.
No, I know, but this would have been so much better with a live crowd at SummerSlam.
Well, it's going to be a
Yeah.
live crowd at Money in the Bank.
Is
So
it?
that-
Oh, that's
yes.
right. I thought SummerSlam
Mhm.
was the first pay-per-view.
No.
Silly goose.
So
'Cause
that's
they hit the road mid-July. When is
Yeah.
Money in the Bank?
they literally hit the road starting that Friday before Money in the Bank.
Oh, so it's literally
Yeah.
like 2 weeks, and it's literally a week.
It's literally that Friday night SmackDown, Saturday.
Saturday.
Oh my God, you're
Money in
right.
the
Yeah,
Bank.
it's literally 2
Yeah.
days.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, never mind. I'm an
So
idiot.
yeah, this will be a good kickoff to fans being back. They're gonna go crazy for
Phenomenal.
Edge.
Yeah.
I have to imagine Edge is gonna lose. Could you imagine if Edge wins and then we get Cena Edge one more time,
That would be awesome.
That's childhood right
or
there.
Cena Edge Roman,
Roman.
and like
That'd be-
Cena Edge have like a little tag team thing going because they got to put Roman down.
That's
And then Roman
funny.
kills
But
our
Roman
two legends
still
from our
wins.
childhood.
Yeah, Roman still wins because that's what he does.
He's literally
Sign me up.
I could see him
Um,
double spearing both like Edge and Cena at the
Edge
same
and
time.
Cena.
Yeah. But if the rumors are true with everything lining up, you guys brought it up. I think still your plan is Roman Cena main eventing SummerSlam somehow,
that
some
would be
way.
awesome in Vegas.
Yeah, somehow, some way in this match at Money in
Well,
the Bank. I think
WWE is
Rollins gets
advertising
involved.
Cena coming back for shows already. Like I got a few emails
Oh.
where they were saying he's gonna be there.
There you go. There you go. That's almost
When does
permanent.
Fast 9 come out?
It's already out this week.
It's already out. Okay. Well, they'll
Yeah.
still be able to market that.
They
Yeah.
will. And I
Yeah.
think Seth Rollins gets involved in Reigns and Edge, and that sets up Rollins versus Edge at SummerSlam too.
Do you guys think Fast 9 sponsors SummerSlam?
Great chance.
It very well. That's 2 months out.
SummerSlam brought
But
to you
actually,
by
that'll
Fast and Furious 9.
that'll be for the DVD coming
Yeah.
out. Honestly, so they could.
Yeah,
see,
or maybe
I
a
think-
streaming service will pick it up, like HBO Max or something.
It probably would because it's a Universal property. So and
Yeah.
the first two are on there, and so is Hobbs and
Mhm.
Shaw. But everything else you have
Yeah.
to rent through Prime. So
Cena
it'll
does his
prob-
entrance in a car. That'd be fire.
All WrestleMania 23 style.
That'd be
Whatever.
awesome.
Yeah, his car is in a movie. That'd be cool. I gotta see it still. They go to space, I think.
Do they really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
at
do.
the end of the trailer, they're in a plane that drops them in like orbit, and they blast off with a rocket strapped to like a Pontiac from like 1990s. They go to they go to space.
It's getting too far. It's getting too.
Nah,
too
it's
far.
awesome.
It's too much. It's
They
too
they
much.
make sense. Gotta watch all. I watched all 8 back to back to back and wasted 20 hours of my
I
life.
think I've seen like the first one.
5 is
Maybe
the best
that's it.
one.
5 is really
I've
good.
heard-
That's the
I've
first
heard.
one The Rock's in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where it peaked.
I've heard.
You
heard
also have
five's the best.
them dragging a massive safe through Brazil like a wrecking ball, like a Looney Tunes cartoon. But whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But 5 is, I think, the best one.
I guess I have to go watch them one day.
Yes, you do.
But Edge is back, and that's awesome to see.
Not in Fast and Furious, though.
Not imagine just the whole WWE universe. And I mean, they already got like half of them with Roman, Rock, and Cena in there. A whole little universe there. But let's just jump into NXT quickly before we wrap this up. Not too much happened on this week's episode of NXT. It's just looking like they're leaning towards doing Cross versus Gargano for the NXT Championship at the Bash, which is on just a random Tuesday in a couple weeks, I think. So, whatever. I don't think Gargano's gonna win. I mean, Cross and Bronson Reed were doing like dark matches for some of the writers and some of the backstage people for the main roster. So maybe there's something happens. I don't know, but should be interesting.
Yeah,
I got nothing more. And then we have the Diamond Mine, which has been teased for I don't know how many weeks now. It feels
almost
like
a month.
Yeah, even more at this point. It feels like they've been teased.
It was really like a few weeks after the implosion of the era, like officially.
Yeah, which makes a lot of sense because people were wondering what it was going to be. Is it going to be like MMA, UFC section of the show? Is it going to be like another brand? Or is it going to be a faction? Or is it going to be a superstar on their own? And it wound up being a faction that is being led by former Undisputed Era member Roderick Strong. And looks like he's accompanied by Tyler Rust and some other dude that no one knows the name of yet, which is cool. And they're being managed by Malcolm Bivens. What are we thinking of the Diamond Mine?
Boy, the Undisputed Era did wonders for Strong, because if he didn't get put in with them, he probably would have been fired because they were doing nothing with him.
Right.
So the fact that he came out of it and we kind of really didn't know what was going to happen to him, because right now Bobby Fish is just in limbo because he doesn't have a tag team partner anymore because O'Reilly's off on his own.
Old.
Obviously O'Reilly benefited the most because he got thrown right into the main event, but also Roderick Strong, he basically saved his career with WWE and he got his own faction out of it. So that's pretty cool too.
Yeah. I mean, let's see Roddy as a leader. We'll see how it goes.
It'd be interesting. I just, like I said, I don't see Roddy as, that main guy. I mean, I think all these guys have like an MMA-ish type background somewhat, which is why they're called, the Diamond Mine, and they have like the two fists going together as their logo. And, it should be interesting. But I just feel like NXT is very faction heavy right now. And I don't know if another faction was really needed, because I feel like,
But what's interesting though? None of the factions necessarily are at the top of the card though.
That is true.
Like this is usually the factions like in AEW and stuff, they lead the card. They're the head of the card. But if you look at the NXT card, the factions are all mid to lower card.
Yeah, it's what Legato, you got the Way.
Mm-hmm. I guess the Way's kind of more upper card, but they're not. But they're not running like. No. Usually, when you have a faction, you have factions like kind of running the show. The Way doesn't do that.
No, then you got Xia Li and her little group there. And then you have the Diamond Mine. So I mean, there's a faction war, somewhat, somehow, some way between three of them, or if we
haven't had a good faction war in a while.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. But no, any closing thoughts before we wrap up this podcast?
Nah, I'm cool.
No, you're not.
I'm cool.
No, I'm cool with no more thoughts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you everyone for listening to this episode of the Sports Department Podcast. We appreciate it. Joe and Steve appreciate it as well. Make sure you guys subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcast, and Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Follow us on our social medias on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Sports Depth Pod. That's Sports DEPT Pod. We'll have some more sports episodes coming out. It's just been a little busy for everyone. Stuff going on in their lives, stuff going on. But stay tuned for finals. NBA finals are coming up. Stanley Cup is coming up. It's hitting July with the NFL. So still a few guys need to sign. So maybe once they sign, we'll start, breaking down some of the divisions and getting through some of that stuff. So stay tuned to all that fun stuff, and we'll see you in the next episode.